Yeah, definitely. Like we say in the Steeplechase, it doesn't come around often, the opportunity to have a really competitive event. So it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to use this opportunity tonight. We only had 3 people initially signed up, so to have 2 turn up this evening, it's not too bad, to be fair. There's been plenty of Steeplechase races where you are running solo. These athletes are very resilient. They have got that mindset. So I'm sure they won't be fazed by it being just those 2 in the race. Here we get going then. It's a nice paced start. Straight ahead of the wave lights as they settle in. It'll probably take them a moment or 2 to figure out exactly where it is they want to sit on this as they head in towards that first barrier.
Great to see Zoe Hunter take the lead in the early stages, and Jasmine Wright, she looks like she's a little bit off Zoe Hunter at the moment. That could be a decision to get a good look at the barrier. See Zoe Hunter taking that okay. She's just in her second steeple of the year, isn't she? Just that 1 2K chase. So you can only do so much in training. It's different when you get into a race. Maybe not on these first couple of laps, but when that fatigue sets in, it will start to feel very, very different than anything you've done in training.
Yeah, it absolutely will, and we can see both girls there just trying to find their feet a little bit with the water jump, both of them landing 2-footed as they make their way out of it. That can be something sometimes to do with confidence, sometimes to do with just the way that their personal style. But of course, they'll be looking to maintain as much energy and momentum as they can so that they can continue forward to be more efficient. And we can see there that barrier on the home straight as they come around for the first time was the most efficient for both of them in these early stages. But Zoe Hunter looking like she is happy to stretch out and run this solo in the early stages.
So Jasmine Wright is right on the pacemaking lights, which I think is set at 6:50, which would be a big personal best for her, nearly a 20-second personal best. So it makes you nervous, doesn't it? It makes you wonder whether Zoe Hunter's got it right. Now that maybe she's decided to use that first lap where there were less barriers in it, just to get herself ahead, get herself up. But Zoe Hunter absolutely motoring at the moment because she's miles ahead of those lights when her personal best is slower than the lights. Zoe Hunter, that's another. She did stutter into that hurdle, but in the end, getting over it quite cleanly. I think you can stutter while maintaining momentum. It's not ideal. You want to kind of not have to stutter, but if you do manage to at least keep that momentum, that's okay. And Zoe Hunter looking good so far, but very early days. They've still got 3 laps to go.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Hannah. I think the stuttering, whilst it can impact the momentum, if you get the hurdle nice and clean, you can absolutely carry that over. It's much more about the arc over the hurdle as it is in the build-up. But that water jump there was much better than our first one as well, and Zoe Hunter has really settled into this race very nicely. And I think you're right, she decides to use that flat time before the first barrier to really get into her running, make the most of that time, because we're adding on about a second, 2 seconds every time these athletes are hurdling to their flat pace. And if you can make the most of the time you've got just on the ground, then you absolutely should.
And do you think, Rosie, if you're used to doing a 3,000 metre steeplechase, perhaps more relevant with the men in the previous race, but then you drop down to a 2K, you're running a bit faster, or even in these first couple of laps and you're feeling fresher, those hurdles can come at you a lot faster. Because to me, Zoe Hunter now, as we go into the third lap, we're approaching the halfway point in this 2K chase. And this is the best hurdling she's done the last couple of hurdles. She almost seems to be settling into it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we often see it as well, even if you look at the very, very top level. Sometimes we see the elite athletes either clipping the hurdles, clipping the barriers, falling on the barriers, or even falling in the final water jump. And sometimes that's to do with fatigue. But also, when you're really trying to wind that pace up and crank into that final gear, the athletes are finding that their sighting of the barrier is happening much, much quicker, or they're approaching it much faster, and their stride pattern is slightly different to what they're used to, and they're adapting it, and therefore it's looking a little bit more bumpy as they come into these final few barriers. So I think you're absolutely right, Hannah, and the pace in which these barriers are being approached has a massive impact in how the athletes hurdle it. And you can see, I totally agree, Zoe Hunter's looking much smoother over these barriers than she was in the first lap.
She is, but she has been caught by the lights, and Zoe Hunter was quite a long way ahead of these lights that are set at 6:40 pace, 6:50 pace, and they're now with her. But Zoe Hunter, she is looking strong. She is maintaining this speed, and she will have the lights for company now. And if she can hold on to those, the Leeds City University of Birmingham athlete might be able to challenge that 6:57 personal best. But she's going to have to dig deep here, Zoe Hunter, if she gets to 300 metres to go.
Yeah, she absolutely does. Another fantastic dry barrier there, and hopefully that confidence is just going to build and build and build and mean that she can really hold on to the back end of those wave lights and use them just to drag her around these final stages, because it does get lonely out there in steeplechase. I said that they're often used to racing alone. It doesn't make it easy, it doesn't make it a preference as such, and she's really going to have to work hard and battle herself and the fatigue that she'll be feeling now, and it will really start to bite in the next few barriers. I've got to say as well, a better water jump there from Jasmine Wright. I think they've both improved throughout this 2K chase. They've both been looking more and more comfortable. It is all about Zoe Hunter though. The under 23 has been hurdling fantastically in these last couple of laps. She's perhaps stuttered a tiny bit or got a little bit close to some of the hurdles, but it's not put her off at all. She's recovered really well, and the other hurdles have been superb. That one, for example, as I say that, she just proves my point. It was so smooth as she goes into the final lap.
No, I think, but Zoe Hunter, apologies, I think I told her, so luckily she probably can't hear me. So she had 300 metres to go, but she didn't. She had another lap to go as well. But Zoe Hunter you can see that as well, striding into that hurdle there on the back straight. Plenty of really positive take-homes for Zoe Hunter here, she does do steeplechase. She just doesn't do it all that often. And I think, at this point, at the end of a track season, to have a positive steeplechase experience, hopefully that means we'll see Zoe Hunter do a few more of these steeple races next year.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. If you can end your steeple season on a high, hopefully you'll pick it up exactly where you left it off the next season, as long as you can maintain that hurdle work through the winter. Coming into her final water jump now. Always a slightly unpredictable one, a bit of fatigue setting in there perhaps, but she got over it safely, and that's what matters. And she's looking strong, she's looking ready for the finish, ready to find that extra gear. Grimacing in as she comes in towards that last barrier. I'm sure the fatigue is hurting, but there it is. There's the sprint that we were waiting for. Zoe Hunter, the under 23, a fantastic solo run, an impressive time as well. She stays underneath that 6:50 mark, 6:48 on our clock, unofficially of course. But that's a fantastic time and a fantastic personal best to end the season on.
It is, and a great run there from Jasmine Wright. I think she could be well under her personal best of 7:08 as well. And that's a 9-second personal best by Zoe Hunter, which is a phenomenal run. Look at the pair of them, absolutely exhausted. And what a shame in the end, Rosie. We were hoping we could see them work together, but perhaps just the fitness and the state they're in this day, this Saturday evening here in Manchester, just meant it wasn't appropriate for them to run together. But both of them, and particularly Zoe Hunter, that hurdling in the last couple of laps, when she should have been potentially getting worse with that fatigue, really, really promising for her.